coming up now on 6:45 on Acadiana's Morning News. So one of our items in the news on Tuesday of next week, they will be taking up the issue of, or at least two councilmen, Pat Lewis, Glenn Lazard, put a proclamation on the Tuesday night agenda for Pride Month. Matthew Humphreys is joining us. He's from PFLAG, and he joins us on the line this morning. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, folks. Happy Pride Month.
Well, listen,
same to you.
Yes, you too. So talk to us about, okay, so this has gone on for, at least, a couple of weeks now. There was discussion about it with Mayor President Josh Guillory. Now, council members Glenn Lazard and also
Pat Lewis.
Sorry about that. Lost my notes. They're going to do this proclamation. What are you anticipating next week?
This has actually been happening a lot longer than a couple of weeks.
I just meant the latest
locally.
I just meant the latest part of this.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Gotcha.
the discussion has come up again. Pride has been it's a hotbed issue to some extent to a lot of folks down here, and the motivation behind it historically is pushing back against a government that doesn't include you. So that's effectively what we've been doing, and with trying to get the mayor president to extend a seat at the table to this minority community that he represents. And once again, he's made his position clear that he's not going to do that. So these councilmen, also members of another minority community, are going to take that step out that he was not willing to. Obviously, we're very grateful for their support, and I'm really hopeful that other council members will come out and sort of give a full-throated endorsement that they also are willing to include our minority community.
That you led to my question, Matthew. In terms of the other council members, have you had discussions with them? Have you heard any thoughts from them about this proclamation or about declaring Pride Month via resolution or ordinance? What's your conversations with the other three city council members been like?
So I don't have any contact with Andy Nakan. It's my understanding that he's sort of drawn a red line about these sort of issues based on some of his prior, public service comments or actions. So it's not really a relationship that I've necessarily even tried to make there. I do have relationships with Lynette Cook and Liz Hebert. I have not heard from them. I did reach out. I talked to them at City Council on the 1st, but it was cordial, hey, hello, how you doing, catching up kind of thing. I did ask for some time with them in the office, but I haven't heard from them via email yet. I do know that Glenn Lazard has been in contact with both of them to some extent. I'm hopeful to see what it is that they have to say. I know that they weren't on the proclamation in terms of authoring it, but that Glenn has been talking to them. I'm really excited to see sort of what feedback they have, because each of the council members will be able to sort of speak in support of it, or I suppose they could just say nothing, which obviously speaks volumes. But Nanette, her history in terms of her work is dealing with children. She was a school teacher, so I think Nanette Cook really understands the impact that adults have on the foundation of young children. And my motivation has always been that I don't want young LGBTQ kids in this parish or the city to grow up sort of exposed to the type of issues that I did, the things that sort of led me down this path to want to make a better future for the generations of LGBTQ kids. So I'm hopeful that she will speak out in support of it because she sees the impact. And also, Liz Hebert 2 years ago actually voted in favor of a resolution declaring it. So I'm really hopeful that we still have her support. And I'm just really looking forward to hearing sort of both of their comments on Tuesday. It would be great to have the support of 4 of our council members.
I want to go back to something you said a second ago about Andy Nakan, about not necessarily having conversations with him. And we know, watching the council and hearing some of what he said in the past, that he does skew more conservative. The parish council also skews more conservative. Why not try to begin the dialogue with either Andy Nakan or the parish council and try to maybe win them over to your side, or explain to them why this is so important to you?
Or at least ask for an up or down answer,
Well, and here's the thing. It's more so that I have been reached out to by folks that have been on the councils back when they were consolidated, and now In fact, Glenn Lazard sort of reached out to me and told me that this was something that he was anticipating doing. I have been to council. I've made open comments during the public comment section various times. So it's not as though they don't know who I am. It's not as though they don't know what my organization stands for. I also have emails and that sort of thing. So I've not gone up to Mr. Knockat personally or at a council meeting. I don't know him. I don't know that I've ever even seen him up there when he was sort of free for me to even go and introduce myself. So I think that the invitation is sort of out there. It sort of is the same for the mayor president. Truthfully, this is definitely a political issue, and it really shouldn't be because it's young LGBTQ lives that I'm worried about. But the mayor president doesn't return my phone calls or my emails. Carlos Harvin, chief of minority affairs, doesn't return my calls or emails. But Pat Lewis does. Glenn Lazard does. Nanette Cook had me in her office after the Pride resolution failed 2 years ago when she voted against it. I have Liz Hebert's number. We're friends on Facebook. So I think that the opportunity has been there for the more conservative elected officials in town to reach out to me. Here, I've offered to be the volunteer, sort of LGBTQ liaison for Carlos Harvin, and it's radio silence. So,
but the thing with that,
well, and Josh did last week. Josh did dispute. He said Carlos Harvin did call you back.
Yeah, that's entirely inaccurate. I've never heard from him or Josh Guillory.
But I want to go back to. I'm sorry, Matthew. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. I've actually I volunteered multiple times at City Council to have Josh reach out to me or to have Carlos reach out to me. But I actually also ran into Carlos Harvin personally when I was just running an errand at a bank and gave him my information directly. So I mean, it's he said, she said there. But I mean, obviously, I have no reason to lie that Carlos Harvin tried to contact me. If he had tried to contact me, then I would have information about what Mr. Guillory's administration was helping me do to save queer kids.
The question I have, going back to what you said about members of the parish council and Andy Knockan reaching out to you if they want to, they have nothing to lose here, or at least my perspective of it is they have nothing to lose if they don't reach out to you, if they vote no to this. You have everything to gain by reaching out to them. So why not put out the olive branch and say, look, can we have the open dialogue? Can I at least make my case to you and then go from there? Why not give that olive branch or reach out to them?
Well, that's what I'm saying is I think it's the mischaracterization to say that I haven't reached out to them. Because
did you leave a voicemail message for Andy Knockan, for just as one example?
No, I have not tried to call. I haven't tried to call any of them. I email them typically, and they have my contact information via email. And I go to the public forum where it's televised and everybody is sort of there hearing it all. So no, I've not actually tried to call him directly. But you know what? At your suggestion, I will. I will call and I will leave him a message.
I think you should, because at least, I really do think you should. And then that way you can tell us when we do follow up, did they call you back? Did they not call you back, et cetera? Sure. I think it's a good idea.
That's interesting. Yeah. You know what? Leave no stone unturned.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of my thoughts.
As long as we can all agree that no answer is an answer, and that's kind of what we've been getting for the last 3 years from some of our more conservative elected officials. I'm absolutely willing to give that a shot. Sure.
And I understand why that comes from, yes.
Now, in terms of the resolution itself, you've been working with, or you said you've been in touch with Pat Lewis and Glenn Lazard with this. What do you hope is the outcome after this resolution is introduced this proclamation is introduced Tuesday night? What do you hope is the next step for the city and the parish of Lafayette in terms of LGBTQ plus relations?
Well, I don't think this isn't some cure-all. It's really just it's a symbolic gesture of sort of inclusion, not just the mayor president used the word when we were on your show. It was last week or 2 weeks ago. It was last week. He had used the word tolerated or accepting, and so this is more just a symbol of inclusion. We don't want to just be sort of tolerated or accepted or hey. Oh, yep, they are a thing. We want to be embraced. We want to be acknowledged as part of the community and be served by our local government. What I'm hoping for is that this Pride Month, this June, is going to pass, and people are going to realize that it's just like every other June. It was a symbol, and that nothing, nobody's any more gay or any less gay, or it's not any more in your face, other than our elected officials have acknowledged us. And that since something bad happened, maybe we don't have to have this sort of struggle every year to have our fight for visibility be acknowledged. What I would really like is for the mayor president's office, Mr. Harvin, to contact me and find out. I get it; the man doesn't need to do a proclamation. That's his prerogative. But what will he do? What can we do? I mean, can we sit down and just figure out what sort of services are needed in the schools? How we can, I don't even know where to start, because it's just sort of been a pipe dream for the last few years that they would actually acknowledge us and we can figure out what more we can do.
Okay, great. PFLAG Representative Matthew Humphreys, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes.
And we'll follow up again with you and see where we are with the situation. Have a great week, man.
You too. Thank you, guys.